Hello, thank you for joining us today, and welcome to our colleagues and friends joining us and watching us from Barcelona, London, or anywhere else in the world. So let me introduce you to our speakers today, Mr. Clemens Bloem, Executive Vice President Industry, Mr. Marcus Harlinghausen, Executive Vice President Low Voltage Systems and Products, Mr. Vincent Petit, Energy Automation Senior Vice President, and Mr. Fabrice Jadot, Innovation and Technology Senior Vice President, and myself, Marie-Emery Leleu, EMEA PR Manager. Before I leave the floor to this gentleman, let me provide you with a few details, especially for those of you who are connected through the Hangout and on YouTube. If you are watching us and connected to the Hangout, please use the chat to post your comments and questions. If you are watching us on YouTube, please post your comments, questions using the HMSE16 dedicated hashtag. We'll have a 15 minutes Q&A session by the end of these presentations, and the hashtag will remain active and valid after the conference. So we'll make sure that all questions will be answered whether during or after the conference. Thank you very much. Clemens, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Marie. Thank you, gentlemen. Please let me first get my glasses on. Okay. So, greetings to everybody. My task for the next minutes is just to recap you on the Schneider Electric strategy. Is what is our mission? What are the macroeconomic forces behind? And how we see the future in energy and automation. And all the innovation we are driving around. So I just give you a review on this, and then the colleagues here to my right, they will then focus on very specific details around connectivity and augmented operator as a particular subject for the innovation round for today. Okay, so let's start and move on. So I really like to talk about this because I think this shows in a very few simple numbers what's going on this planet around the global warming, what is the increase in energy consumption as a result, what does it mean for us, and what we as technicians, I think, can contribute in order to reduce the risk for the environment and reduce the global warming. The equation is pretty simple. The energy consumption will grow by more than 50% over the next years, and this is driven by ever-increasing demand of energy. Second macro trend is the massive urbanization. Digitization, we all like our digital smartphones, but this is really driving electricity and energy consumption. And this is really the reason why the energy consumption is so far increasing. And then on the other side, we have to reduce the carbon footprint. And when we look at the Kyoto Protocol a few years ago, the carbon footprint has to be reduced by factor 2. So it's a simple equation, 1.5 times 2 is 3. So in other words, we have to become 3 times more efficient on this planet in order to avoid severe damage, irrecoverable damage on the environment. And I think we as automation people, we as energy providing people, we have here a lot to play, an important role to play in order to make this happen, that we can be much more efficient in the future. On the other side, and this is one of our core beliefs in Schneider Electric, we believe the access to electricity is a human right. The access to electricity is a human right, because access to electricity means access to information. Access to information means access to education, and access to education means a better life. This is why we believe that electricity is a basic human right. But the energy consumption will increase by 80% in the next 25 years. The electricity consumption will increase in the next years dramatically. And when you look and this is also a very simple equation, for one energy unit, electricity, usually 3 energy units of fossil energy are consumed in order to generate 1 unit of electricity. So if we can make the whole consume on end users and consumers of electricity far more efficient, what I say is 1 kilowatt saved at the end user side saves 3 kilowatt equivalent energy on the generation side. And this is the mission behind what we do at Schneider Electric. So then the second mega trend is the future will be far more connected. 50 billion devices by 2020. Nobody has doubts on this. When we see how the numbers of smart devices is exponentially increasing, this will be a different gameplay in the future. Energy will be far more distributed. Renewable energy is taking its place. Photovoltaic, photo energy is growing immensely. In 2014, the global investment into renewable energies bypassed the investment in conventional energies. 2015. So what is the consequence is that these renewables are far more distributed, far more local, far more decentralized, and this needs to be connected in order to be efficiently managed. And here I think this is the equation. More electricity, more connectivity, more distribution of energy, and this will drive then, together with software and different applications, far more efficiency. And we believe that 2/3 untapped efficiency potential. As I said before, I repeat, 1 kilowatt saved at the end user side, 3 kilowatts saved at the generation side. And this is what we drive. Now, we as Schneider Electric, we combine energy management, automation, and software by serving 4 markets. And those 4 key markets, this is residential area, this is commercial building area, this is industry and infrastructure and data center. These are the core markets we are serving. And those core markets are consuming up to 70% of the global energy. So with our focus, we are right, let's say, in the focus of the core of the problem. And we strongly believe by the combination of energy, automation, software, putting analytics on top of this, this can make the difference, and this will make the difference. When you then look at this and say, okay, on top, you bring then the connectivity layer. So that information of the energy consumption, the information around automation of processes is in real time available, then you really can start to drive more efficiency, because you are then far more predictable. You look ahead, you do predictive modeling, and you understand perfectly well what your process is doing under certain load conditions. And this is what automation people and software people can do. And this is what we focus on. And by this, you are really in charge, it's really possible to optimize the energy consumption as well as to optimize the process who are consuming the energy, and vice versa. So this is, let's say, the driving force behind. So nevertheless, when we look based on our mission and around innovation, our focus since the 60s has been that we make energy and electricity safe. That's the fundamental of all what we do. Then, in the next step, we started to make the energy far more reliable. So we are the leader, for instance, in uninterruptible power supplies, APC, well-known brand. Based on this, we then started to drive for more efficiency. So we have globally in global installations in plants, in utilities, in food and bev companies, you name it. We have our automation and energy solutions to make these places far more efficient. On top of this, we drive sustainability. And we bring new innovations into the market around solar energy connection to the grid, solar energy storage systems, which is another level of bringing sustainability and efficiency into the environment. And then the whole subject around connectivity. We should not forget it was in 1997, I still remember, in 1997, we put open Ethernet IP technologies onto every new PLC. We called it Transparent Ready. We created the Transparent Factory by making the factory digital and connecting the enterprise. We created Transparent Factory. And at that time, we got the reward, the Smithsonian Award, for the being most innovative in this area. And in this reward speech, it was said that Schneider Electric creates the transparency from sensor to CEO. That's now 19 years ago. In these years, we all talk about IoT, the Internet of Things, the industrial Internet of Things. I think we are the forefathers. We have been inventing this already close to 20 years ago with Transparent Ready and Transparent Factory. And this shows exactly in this term what connectivity, software, and analytics can bring to a manufacturing operation, to a refining, to a utility in terms of efficiency, in order, again, to reduce the energy consumption. Now, what does this all mean? Is when we look, we have placed ourselves in the last 20 years in all major markets. With our innovations, we are very much present in the largest oil and gas companies. We are covering more than 100 wastewater plants. We are playing with our solutions in the top 10 major global electric utilities. These are where we are present. This is where we have established ourselves with our innovations around energy management, automation, software, analytics, and finally also with connectivity. So in connectivity, this is the subject of my two colleagues here who speak as next. Connectivity in our energy offers, in our energy management offers. Please, Markus, it's your turn.
Thank you, Clemens. Thank you, Clemens. Well, ladies and gentlemen, very good afternoon here in Hannover or through digital means wherever you are in the world. The next topic, as Clemens started to talk about, is power distribution redefined. We at Schneider Electric, we like to talk about life is on for everyone, everywhere, at every moment. And let me ask a question. So let me see whether this is going to work. Okay, will it work? So the key question is, why is life on? And in fact, life is on because we have a medium and low voltage power distribution system, which is tying demand and supply side together. And all of this in an environment which is getting increasingly complex. So why do I say that? If I walk you through a little bit the history of the electrical energy world, it basically all starts with large-scale power generation, either fossil or nuclear. You step up the energy into high-voltage transmission, either AC or DC technology. You step it down through different levels, medium voltage, low voltage, and then you come to the point of consumption. And this concept from plant to plug has been traditionally managed by the integrated utilities. And then around the 60s and 70s, with the arrival of deregulation in many countries, we have started to slice this value chain into pieces. So we have power generation, we have power transmission, and we have power distribution. And all of that is been running today by different legal entities. So by nature, you put interfaces between that, which of course is a part of a complexity. Then we heard it with the arrival of renewable energy, and in particular wind, and we can also talk about photovoltaic, which has accelerated over the last couple of years. We see new topics like the prosumer, we see microgrid, and again, all of that is of course adding complexity and constraints into the system. And that's, again, you see that here on the picture. That's why the world of power distribution has become more complex. On this slide, I want to walk you through a little bit on the basics of power distribution. So what are the key components? The first level, or the base of power distribution, is the electrical system. What is an electrical system? In simple terms, the electrical system is about making products work together. And we as Schneider Electric, I think we can be proud. We have been innovating quite a lot throughout the last 50 years. And we have been adding more and more functionalities into that system in order for more safety, for more reliability, and for more efficiency. If you take a look at the second level, the installation system. So what is the installation system? I would call it, in simple terms, the installation system makes the electrical system work a bit like Lego by making the components fit mechanically together, and that easily and efficiently in order to save time, money, and of course mitigate problems. And again, Schneider Electric, I think we can be proud. We have been bringing a number of innovations throughout the last 50 years to the market, like low voltage kits, Prisma, or Oken and Blockset the years after. And last but not least, the digital system. And as we have heard earlier, yes, today, I mean, everyone is talking about digitization, but it in fact is also not so new to our industry. In 1980, with the Power Logic, we have introduced the first digital power meter into the market. And then throughout the years, with innovation, we have managed to onboard more and more intelligence into the devices, which has led to a peak in about 1.5 years ago. We have the first time launched a fully smart low voltage system, which we call Smart Panel, powered by Enerlinks, which is for now unique in the market. And we will walk you through more what is going to come next. So I remind you, the electricity consumption will double roughly by 2040. And we have to totally focus on what we call the 3D in Schneider Electric. So it's about decentralization, it's about decarbonization, and about digitization. And in this world, the combination of the 3D and doubling the electricity consumption, we are moving into a new world where we need to completely change the paradigm. We need to shift it in order to have more real-time, more open integration, and that throughout the full life cycle. If I would put myself in the shoes of someone who is designing, constructing, and operating a power distribution system, I would probably consider 5 key elements. Let me start with safety. Well, safety has been around for quite some time and has been a basic requirement. But we need to do more, and we need to redefine that. Why I'm saying that? Because we see also more and more standards, codes, and regulation entering into that complex world, which requires us to comply with it. We hear also quite a bit from our customers that the aging workforce in our industry is a challenge. Because at a point where the OT and the IT world come together, that requires a different skill set, which is a challenge. And I think it's a no-brainer that in our industry, there's zero tolerance for accidents. The next piece is reliability. Again, reliability has been a base requirement, so it's not new, but we need to do more. We need to redefine it. Again, why I'm saying that, you have seen we have a quite constrained and complex system. And imagine a power outage in critical business like a data center or a hospital. I think we all know the impact. So we have to make sure that uptime 24/7 is secured by a reliable power distribution system. The next piece is efficiency. And when I mean efficiency, I would talk about operational efficiency. Operational efficiency throughout the full life cycle. And in simple terms, this is about making sure that those who operate a building or a plant, they need to stay competitive. It's a brutal world out there, and we need to help them to stay in business, as simple as that. And especially with digitization and with a lot of transparency, there's zero tolerance for not being competitive in a particular industry today. The next piece is, and we heard it, sustainability. Well, for me, sustainability is not a buzzword. In fact, it's an obligation for all of us in order to preserve the resources of our planet. We owe that, I think, to the next generations. And this is about drastically reducing the carbon footprint through energy efficiency. But it's not only about energy efficiency, it's also about applying more and more regulations which arrive in our industry, which are in the context of circular economy. So talk about WEEE, talk about ROS or REACH, which are codes which we have to apply in our industry for a better world and make it sustainable. And last but not least, I think, again, it's a no-brainer. When OT and IT world are coming together, we have to securely protect our power distribution systems against potential cyber attacks. So this is at a glance the latest portfolio or innovation from Schneider Electric to make that paradigm shift work. We have heard it earlier, so we have basically 3 levels. So we have the energy level, we have the automation level, and then we have the software level on top. And we find that that is the key to address these paradigm shifts today. So on the base level, when you talk about, we would call it probably collaborative transparency of products and systems, those are connectable products. And in particular, in power distribution, it's medium and low voltage products, and we hear more in a minute on two particular products. These products are sending information and they are connected with the automation level. And the automation level, which is about real-time control and real-time operation, is simply about maximizing uptime and safety. And this is supported by a suite of software by Schneider Electric. Take, for instance, Power Structure or PASSIS, which is enabling the automation level. And this level is then communicating, I would call it, let's say, the cream on the cake, so to speak. It's really then about analytics and services. And this is about making informed and timely decisions. And again, this is supported by a suite of software from Schneider Electric. You can take Resource Advisor or Asset Management. And these 3 levels are continuously in real time connected. And all that in a cyber-secure environment. So let me pick now one particular component, which is a critical component in the power distribution network. It's about a low voltage air circuit breaker. Here's the example, what Schneider has introduced in 1987. It's the Masterpact M. At that time, it changed everything. It was the most compact breaker with an insulated frame and with an electronic control unit. It took us some time, and that was in 2000, so 13 years later, to come with the next generation, which was the Masterpact NT and W. And again, it has been setting the standard in the industry with the next level of compactness, but also embedding a number of features, like embedded communication or even power monitoring. So, well, I need to be careful not to become too emotional now, because this doesn't happen every day, right? So you can imagine, you have seen it. It takes hundreds of engineers over years, smart and dedicated people, to bring this kind of game-changing innovations to the market. And today is the day where we are going to unveil the next generation of Masterpact MTZ. And in fact, I'm super proud about that this is going to happen in my home country as a German, though, I mean, we work in a global environment, but I take that as a particular cream on the cake. Are you ready, ladies and gentlemen?
Are you ready? Are you ready for more than a little breeze? Nothing to sneeze at, if you please. Are you ready for Class 1 precision, laser-like for better decisions, like a super-focused genius on an energy-saving mission? Are you ready to get connected while you're still well-protected and get elected to be president of the Internet of Things? How does that ring? Are you ready for upgrades made so easy just with USB-C? Are you ready to get ready? Ready for this? Ready for that? Ready for everything? Ready for anything? Environment ready, precision ready, connectivity ready, upgrade ready. New Masterpact MTZ is ready. Right, that would be future ready. Another Schneider Electric innovation at every level.
Thank Thank you for the excitement. So let's talk about future ready. The challenge I have now that we are limited in time, otherwise I would probably talk for hours about this type of product. So again, today we are in 2016 and we're going to talk about this particular product, the Masterpact MTZ Look. I mean, it's a beautiful product. I mean, there are so many parts and pieces to make that a key component work in a power distribution system. What I want to do is I want to highlight a few key innovations which really add value to the power distribution systems and to our customers in the market. So let's talk about let's say the core innovations. Everything is getting tougher these days. So talk about a windmill application. Talk about an oil and gas or a steel plant from a harshness perspective. But then when you talk about an uptime perspective on a data center or a hospital, of course I would also call that to be a tough environment. And what we are introducing, so I mean if you see the breaker here, typically a breaker, it's like a human being. So you have a core part, which is the body, then you have the control unit, which is the brain. And these two are connected to the spine, so to speak. And we all know, I mean, if the connection is loose, we are somehow in trouble. So I don't wish that to be in a power breaker. And I give you an example. Here's one detail. We are even using golden contacts to make that connection, that spine, so to speak, reliable. Yeah, in order to have 24/7 uptime in a harsh environment. That's one example. If I move to the next example, we were talking about compactness. So let me see if this animation is going to work. Okay, it's going to work. So look, now I'm zooming into the breaker. So this doesn't sound like a big deal. Okay, I mean it's a small sensor here, but it's a big deal. It's a very big deal because this is an innovation. By the way, the machines have been designed all by Schneider Electric, and we have patented that, and we do that in Schneider Electric. And these little coils, they represent a certified Class 1 accuracy energy metering. So what is that? So number one, it's embedded into the breaker. So it's helping the customer a big deal because he doesn't need an extra device. Secondly, so he's saving time, money, but the accuracy is as double as good as what we have today. And that simply saves energy in a commercial or in an industrial building. And that can amount to thousands of euro in a year when you have this accuracy of metering. Again, it's a big innovation in the core. The third piece, again, I would believe you would have expected that, but for our engineers was a huge challenge to keep exactly the same footprint with all the additional informations we have started to bring into that device. And I love that because our customers can do plug and play. So you basically take the new Masterpact MTZ, replace it. And the big deal is all this is going to happen without a recertification of the system, which is normally required when you buy a switchboard or when you change any device in the system. So these have been, let's say, the three core innovations, let's say, on the body, so to speak. If we would have stopped here, well, we would have probably already something very, very superior, and this is, in my view, a giant leap in terms of innovation. But we have been talking about the world of IoT, we have been talking about connectivity. Of course, the ambition we have given ourselves make it the most connected breaker in the world. And I'll give you now an example what's going to happen here. So again, the brain piece, which is the control unit, which we call MicroLogic X, is equipped with a full digital modularity. And this is unique. So let me put myself in the shoes of an architect and engineer who has a job to design a commercial building, right? Of course, the investor is putting a lot of pressure on first cost, and at the same time, I want to make something future-proof in order to have an appropriate life cycle of the commercial building. So I choose the Masterpact MTZ, which comes by default with the waveform capture digital module. And guess what? When you are the facility manager later on, in case of a fault or a trip, you get the appropriate information and know how to deal with the situation. The good news is, if you move one step further, you are now the facility manager. Let's say 12 months later, the commercial building is in operation. I didn't know that before, but now I discover, hey, I have a smart system in my building equipped with a Masterpact MTZ. And I discover, hey, the power restoration assistant digital module is something which is adding great value and may potentially save cost in my building. So I simply go on the Schneider Electric digital web store. I download that digital module, and you've seen that in the movie. I go to the switchboard, I connect my laptop with a cable and download that into the switchboard. And I'm doing that with a cable to be 100% cyber secure. And I can do that with any kind of model I wish to do so. And the good news is all that is happening without any downtime. So the breaker is in operation when I'm doing that type of operation. That brings me to the second piece. It's about real-time performance monitoring. And I have my best friend here, which is Facility Hero. And this is an app which is helping me to monitor the condition of my building. And it's sending me, in case of a fault, it's sending me a notification. And of course, with that, I can do some troubleshooting to quickly fix the problem. So let's assume my breaker has an overload here. Thanks to geolocation, I know exactly which building is a problem. And I assign my technician on site or the electrical contractor to go into the switchboard room and take next steps. So I changed my head again. Now I'm the electrical contractor or the engineer on site. I go into the switchboard room and, wow, I mean, what's going on? There's lots of stuff. So where do I find the breaker which has a problem? And thanks to Masterpact MTZ, we have introduced an intuitive HMI 5-color backlight, which is taking away a lot of guesswork, right? So I have 5 colors and I know exactly the health status of my breaker. And this is saving a lot of time and is cooling me down when I'm nervous entering into a switchboard room. And this brings me to the third piece, which is about wireless communication again. So I connect safely through a Bluetooth connection to that breaker. And then I can read out any kind of information to understand what has been the waveform, what's the problem, etc. And if I have really something serious, I'm also able to send quickly a note to an expert and manage to resolve my fault. In the worst case of a blackout and the whole switchboard is down, I just go with near-field communication technology in front of the breaker and I read out the necessary information. This is a super breakthrough innovation, ladies and gentlemen. So with this one, I like to summarize core innovations. Let me go back. The core innovations and the digital innovations basically make the new Masterpact MTZ future ready. And this is optimizing uptime and energy efficiency at every level in your building or your operation. Now I'm going to demonstrate something which I hope you never experience. It's a power outage. And yeah, it looks like this. So I mean, the breaker will go off. I'm not sure whether you're going to hear that. Boom, and the breaker is on again. And you don't want to be in front of a switchboard. Normally, in the Schneider switchboard is safe. But with this solution, what is the benefit? So number one, through remote monitoring, I'm super fast informed, much faster than ever. I quickly identify where's the problem, what type of problem. So I'm much faster, and I'm also much faster saving the problem. And finally, I get the information, hey, your breaker is safe, you can power on, and that's it. Masterpact is on again, power is on, life is on. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen, and Vincent, I pass the ball to you.
Thank you very much, Marcus, for this exciting and very engaging presentation. But ladies and gentlemen, your day is not fully over because we have another product to launch today, which is the Easergy P5, the new digital medium voltage protection control relay. And we will start with the video.
Digitization is drastically changing the way we live and the way we work. Today's world is more electric, more digitized, carbonized, more decentralized, And that means power distribution itself is being redefined. Here at Schneider Electric, we have embraced this new paradigm in a way that ensures more digitized also means more safe, reliable, efficient, sustainable, and better protected against cyber attacks. Introducing Easergy P5, the protection relay that packs industry-leading expertise and innovation into one powerful device. Like best-in-class maintainability, now it only takes moments to withdraw and replace your unit without reconfiguring. And simple maintenance means more reliability and more safety. But safety isn't just about maintenance. The Easergy P5 has been designed to comply to safety standards and cybersecurity rules, which means the wrong people can't access it. To keep pace in a connected world, Schneider has introduced powerful new connected features called Easergy Digital Life. With Digital Life, you can restore power from your phone via wireless connection. You can also access product documentation no matter where in the world you are, with your mobile device and the your unit. And all related technical documents and information from the beginning of the unit's life are stored in a safe digital repository. With Easergy P5, you get all of these features in this small unit. So power distribution is more safe, reliable, efficient, sustainable, secure, and easier. To ensure that life is on for everyone, everywhere, and at every moment.
So, presentation. Okay. So this is Easergy, and I'm very happy to introduce it to you today. This is our new brand name for the medium voltage digital protection and control range. And I will show you in the minutes that come how much of a step up we believe it is for the industry. Okay. So it all starts with the medium voltage, low voltage, digital ecosystem that was presented earlier on by Marcus. Okay. So you saw it already. Three main layers of connected products which are smart and seamlessly integrable into an ecosystem of software and data analytics. And Easergy P5 is right here, actually. It is a foundational product of this overall ecosystem because this is typically the product which controls the medium voltage. So electrical protection is everywhere, right? It is in residential, in buildings, in critical buildings, in industries, up to large infrastructure. And it serves multiple applications. Residential protection, low voltage applications, we have seen the MTZ, up to medium voltage protection. And if we zoom voltage protection, typically this kind of application is made of a mechanical protection and an electronic relay which is monitoring and controlling this protection. This is where the Easergy P5 is seated. This is its role in the medium voltage. It monitors and controls medium voltage protection. So, when we designed the Easergy P5, we first started by listening to our customers. And basically, what they told us about their expectation of power distribution, what for them was the most important, was for power distribution to first be more reliable, less downtime. They wanted it to be safer for the personnel who operates on a daily basis. They wanted it to be more efficient in order to manage the infrastructure every day better. They wanted it to be more sustainable throughout the life cycle, over time. And finally, they wanted it to be more secure, especially because of the rising threats of cybersecurity. And they also told us that within the given context, or the external context that they were living in, with renewable energies, with cybersecurity, with competencies, with standards, you name it, they also told us that it was getting increasingly more complex to actually do their job. And this is how we came up to Easergy P5. We designed P5 around three main values. We first designed it to be powerful. And for that, we leveraged the 100 years of experience that we have in electrical protection. We then wanted it to be flexible, because we acknowledge that today, flexibility is the key if you want sustainable performance. And finally, we designed it to be digital, because for us, and it was already explained several times, digitization enables new ways of doing the same thing, but better. And that's how we came up to Easergy. Easy energy, simple to get. So what's there? So Easergy is, first of all, a step forward in terms of safety, security, and reliability. It has embedded best-in-class protection and control. It offers as well a unique ability to save configuration and settings of the device in order to avoid incidents. It is as well designed to be safe, and it has integrated cybersecurity at the device level, implementation of a personalized security access. Easergy is also a complete step change in terms of efficiency thanks to digitization. So it obviously offers a simple and consistent experience from the ordering to the operation and the maintenance. With the P5 comes as well an access to a cloud-based collaborative environment, okay, where the data is actually stored from the device. The data from the device is stored from day one and accessible throughout the lifetime of the product by the end user. This is what we call the project lifecycle management. And finally, obviously, Easergy P5 comes with a smart application like the one we saw on the MTZ for easy operation remotely from the device at any time, anywhere, and in a very collaborative way. Finally, we designed also the Easergy P5 to be future-proof, to be open, to be transparent, in order to reach a new level of sustainability. You probably all know in this room what is 61850. It is the standard medium voltage communication protocol. Well, Easergy P5 is natively 61850. That means the software inside is in 61850, which gives to this device a unique transparency and make it capable to be very seamlessly integrated into complex and heterogeneous systems. On top of that, it is designed to be scalable and flexible. It allows to have easy upgrades at any time of the life cycle of the device, software upgrades as well as hardware upgrades. It's designed for flexibility. And last but not least, obviously, it is designed in full compliance with all the most demanding standards. So, as a matter of conclusion, and maybe as a matter of repetition as well, a little bit, what matters the most with Easergy P5 or even with MTZ that we saw today is the fact that actually all this is part of a single ecosystem, a single digital ecosystem. What we aim to provide and what we provide today, that you can see on the booth or on our website, is a consistent digital experience for users throughout different layers of electrical distribution. And this is what we call power distribution redefined. Thank you very much. And now I will leave the floor to Fabrice.
Thank you, Vincent. So as the last speaker, I have the challenge to keep you on board for the last 10 minutes, which is not a given. We are running a little bit late, in fact. I will try to do it speaking about industrial Internet of Things in action. In action because we want to move from hype, and there's been a lot of hype around these topics, to reality. And why we want to make it a reality is because we strongly believe at Schneider Electric that we can make a significant step for our customers in terms of benefits that we can bring to them. So this is really driven by the benefits we want to bring to our customers. That's why at Schneider Electric we transition our customers to IIoT so that they can excel in 3 areas. Number 1, asset performance, in order to optimize the usage of the assets. Why? Because life cycle cost of asset can range from 10 to 15 times the cost of purchase of this same asset. Second, augmented operators, in order to optimize the time of the operators. Why? Because, we have to prepare the new generation, the so-called Gen Y operators. So we will do that with mobile devices. Another reason is that operators, it is commonly accepted that they spend up to 50% of their time to find the information they need. So we need to solve that for our customers. Number 3, smart control, in order to optimize the control of their business, notably through IT-OT convergence. And as you know, in the current economical context, to gain a few points of productivity is really a benefit for all of our customers. As mentioned by Clemens earlier, we have been a pioneer in the management of data, going back to Transparent Ready in 1997. If you go to our booth today, the PLC at that time was web server. Now we have the backplane of our PLCs on Ethernet IP, standard Ethernet protocol. And you could sense, so what? But the beauty of that is that you can then, any partner of us can then connect to this backplane and provide additional high-demanding performance application by its own. So it brings to our customer a huge opportunities of enriching its process and its application just based on our controller, which is open. Of course, we cannot speak about transparency of data and not without speaking about cybersecurity. It's a big deal. We don't deny it. We have to take care of that very seriously. And this is what we do. We do it at every level of our solution, in our products, in our system, in our software. And on top of that, because it's not an easy topic for our customers, we supplement our offerings by consulting services so that they can really be sure that we have properly and seriously taken care of cybersecurity. It's stuck. It's coming. As automation technology, we look also at IIoT all along the automation life cycle. And again, our 3 pillars, asset performance, augmented operator, smart control, indeed bring benefits at the time of design engineering to reduce cost and time to market, and up to 30% of engineering time in certain use cases. At the time of commissioning and operation, in order to improve efficiency and flexibility. And there again, we can really speed up changeover, moving from one product to another one. And as you know, there is a more and more demand for customization nowadays. So changeover will be more and more frequent. So we need to reduce the time as much as possible. And finally, at the time of maintenance and services, in order to enhance availability and sustainability. And there we can save up to 30% of maintenance costs for our customers, could it be PMs or end users. Our focus is really the automation journey optimization. So that's why we speak about industrial Internet of Things, because this automation journey is only one dimension of the many dimensions covered and impacted by Industry 4.2. But prefer to focus and deliver reality than to try to embrace too large. Now, I will walk you through 3 of our offerings that are showcased in our booth in order to show you concretely what we can do in this area. First one is Realtime online services. And with this, we really manage the compliance of your asset in regulated markets. And why we do that, and I will say it maybe in other words, this quote from the attorney, because don't even think about non-compliance. Don't even think about it. In such market, you need to calibrate your assets. So we help this through an application on a smartphone, on a tablet, an operator working on it, and then we automatically generate the certificate. And by the way, this is something that we have patented, how to calibrate in a certified way an asset using an application on a tablet. Then as we generate this e-certificate, we can easily associate to this certificate a QR code, which makes that when you have an auditor coming to your plant, he just takes his smartphone, flash the QR code, and he can automatically check whether the asset is compliant in terms of calibration. And on top of that, manage your e-certificate in the cloud, or locally, if you prefer to keep them locally, in order to check the due date of the next calibration, in order to avoid any stop in your production, because in this kind of regulated markets, if your assets are not anymore calibrated, you have just to stop or to waste your production. Visio 360, this is how we augment operators with a so-called augmented reality technology. So imagine an operator receives an alarm in the control room, thanks to this application, first we help him to localize the equipment which is potentially in trouble. When he's in front of the equipment, he just flashes a tag and then he sees what's inside the cabinet without opening the door. And we overlay on top of this real-time information, the one he needs in order to manage this alarm, thanks to this so-called augmented reality technology. So this saves time, this avoids for him downtime. To open the cabinet, you have to stop the equipment for safety. And of course, by construction, it improves safety because you don't have to touch anything. Then on top of that, as it is on an application, you can have a virtual expert driving in order to troubleshoot the issue in case of any issue. So again, saving really the time of the operators in the field, in the plant. Last one, our Altivar process, which is the first service-oriented drive that we have launched. You can see as well this in the booth. Basically, drives control motors. This is the basic functionality of a drive. But motors, it depends on the perimeter you take, but in the industry sector, motors account for 60% of the electrical energy consumption. So this is a big stake for our customers, this consumption. With our drive, we can measure what's happening so that our customers can monitor and can act upon this. Then our drives now are self-aware themselves, so that they can tell you there's something wrong inside me or there's something wrong inside the application. Check it. But they can also act as a sensor, be a sensor for the actuator driven or controlled by the motor. If I take the example of a pump, we can also, from the drive, acting as a sensor, make some drift detection and say to the plant, there is something wrong with the pump, it's not operating at the right point, or there is going to be a mechanical failure in the next coming days or weeks, depending on the type of pumps we master. And of course, we can also, on top of that, if the customer is interested, optimize the operating point of the pump in order to save up to an additional 30% of energy efficiency compared to what a drive do naturally, I would say. Just the fact to put a drive on a motor, you save energy. But then we go a step further thanks to our analytics on board in drives, because we can really optimize the operation of the pump. Thank you for your attention.